A forgotten Bond car left to rust now gleams once more, and its value has skyrocketed to £1 million. It's the kind of story that sounds straight out of a James Bond film. A once glamorous Aston Martin DB5, reduced to a rusting relic on a suburban driveway, now reborn into a £1 million masterpiece. But this isn't fiction, it's the real-life journey of John Williams from Mold, Flintshire, and his beloved car that time almost forgot. Back in 1973, a 21-year-old John bought the second-hand DB5 for £985, equivalent to around £15,000 today. It was the kind of car that every young man dreamed of driving, immortalized by Sean Connery's James Bond in Goldfinger and Thunderball. But life had other plans. As John's career took him to the Middle East in the late 1970s, the Aston was left behind. What followed could make any car lover wince. It sat for decades exposed to Welsh weather, gathering rust, and even becoming a playground for local children. My wife and I used to see the neighbors' kids bouncing on the bonnet, Susan Williams recalled with a laugh. One even jumped on the roof pretending it was the Bond car, thinking some gadget would pop out. A legend left behind. Only 1,022 DB5s ever rolled off the production line between 1963 and 1965, and John's Silver Birch DB5 Vantage is one of just 39 ever built. The collector's dream. Even in its deteriorated state, Aston Martin experts valued it at £500,000. But sentiment trumped profit. John sat at the kitchen table and asked, "Should we sell it?" Susan remembered. "I told him, you'll never find another one. So we decided, we're keeping her." And so began a 3-year restoration journey that would test both patience and finances. The couple poured £400,000 into bringing the car back to life. Aston Martin's restoration team in Buckinghamshire disassembled the vehicle, discovering a mouse nest tucked inside, before spending 2,500 painstaking hours rebuilding and refinishing every detail. The result? A breathtaking resurrection that astonishes even the experts. Aston Martin historian Steve Waddingham described the challenge as monumental. It would almost have been easier to build a completely new car. Repairing such heavy corrosion required incredible craftsmanship. But the outcome is worth it. The look, the sound, the scent, everything about the DB5 is iconic. You can't separate it from those unforgettable film scenes. Back behind the wheel, after 45 years. When John finally slid back into the driver's seat after more than 4 decades, the experience was almost surreal. "It's better now than when it first left the factory," he said. "It was mind-blowing. I just wish someone could restore me like that and make me 27 again." For Susan, this was the first time she'd been a passenger in the car since it was towed years ago. "The sound was glorious," she said, smiling. "When we picked up speed, I caught myself saying, 'Go a bit faster, let's see what she can do.'" Now valued at £1 million, the Aston Martin DB5 shines again, a symbol of devotion and nostalgia. Still, John knows it's not a car for everyday use. "You can't just park it anywhere," he admitted. "And I won't risk it in bad weather. I neglected it once. I'm not making that mistake again." But here's where it gets interesting. Was the emotional attachment worth such an enormous investment? Some might argue that selling it for £500,000 and investing elsewhere would have been wiser. Others believe preserving a piece of British motoring history is priceless. What do you think? Was keeping and restoring the Bond car pure passion, or financial folly? Share your thoughts in the comments.